The Lisa Bronwyn showdown of it all has to be the best I've seen for Salt Lake City. The disrespect was so real. Lisa showed her ass and Bronwyn read her for filth. We're gonna break down all the drama in today's recap.
But I'll be on it always, always.
Hey! Welcome back to my Queen Cave, and today we're going to do a recap and review of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 2, Law and Out of Order. If you do like recaps and reviews on reality TV, popular TV shows, movies, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. I will do those videos. I also want to get into commentary, and I am working on my first Black History video essay. It will be on Pam Grier, the Queen. So that's coming soon. Definitely tune into that. Make sure you tap that notification bell so you are in the loop on what's going on here in the Queen Cave. But let's go ahead and dive into the recap. So the scene starts off the next morning. The girls are waking up in the RV, and we get a little bit more information on what went down the last night with the girls in the wilderness. And everyone's screaming, crying, talking about we gotta get back, we're so lost. And Meredith is in her confessional, and she's like, of course they're not gonna let us get lost. That's too much of a liability. And I'm like, right. So I don't know why you guys are being so dramatic, but anyway, they start getting up to get ready for the day, and Whitney is telling the girls, let's go down by the river and brush our teeth. This is supposed to be us camping.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Bronwyn starts making breakfast, and she's trying to grill this big-ass steak, and Mary looks over, and she immediately tells her, Bronwyn, you can't cook.
I know that my chicken is going to be the best because I was raised vegetarian with a lot of fresh vegetables, so I incorporated vegetables into my recipes. But this should be a good recipe. I think she'll like it.
A hottie's so dumb.
Mary be having me cackling. So they all sit down to start eating, and Heather is explaining to the girls she's actually excited to become an empty nester now that her youngest daughter is going to college. And she tells them that she really had a lot of pressure on her while she was raising the girls, because after she got a divorce, her husband wasn't really in the picture, or her ex-husband wasn't really in the picture at all. He was just more of the weekend dad, or even the dad you see every once in a while. He gives you money and that's it. She really had most of the responsibility for the kids. And because she really valued all of the Mormon principles of raising children, she really did whatever she could to keep them on the right path. So that was so stressful and draining for her over the years. That's why she is excited to send her daughter off and close that chapter of her life so she can finally move on. Bronwyn then adds to this, and she says she feels the exact opposite of Heather. She feels so scared to let Gwen go out of the house, to the point where she even allowed Gwen's boyfriend to move in with her to entice her to stay longer at the house.
Oh, hell no!
I feel like that is concerning, and it's confusing to me. I don't understand why you would want the boyfriend at the house just so you can have your daughter stay there that bad. So she just explains that her whole identity is tied to her being a mother to Gwen. She hasn't really ventured out within herself to find anything beyond being a mother, and she feels like she is afraid that with all of the free time she will have with Gwen out of the house, she won't use that time to invest in herself and to add into herself, which doesn't make any sense. It's like, if you have goals for yourself, Bronwyn, that is the time to make the most of that time. Just like anybody in your position would kill for that time and all the resources you do have to do literally whatever you want to do. You just have to be consistent and really put your mind to it. And I just feel like her saying that gives the vibe that she's someone that doesn't like to work for things. She likes things to be handed to her, or she wants things to be easy. When it comes down to really having to put the work in and be self-disciplined, she's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just stay with what I'm doing, stay complacent, and I just don't understand her logic on that. Whitney chimes in and she says she feels the exact same way about Bronwyn, because with all of her failed business ventures she has going on right now and how much stress and strain that's putting on her and her marriage, she would kill to be at home with her kids all day, but she knows because of those failed business ventures she has to be getting out there and getting the money somehow. Whitney then shifts over to Mary. She asks her an update about what's going on with Robert Jr., and Mary doesn't give too much detail, but she really just says he's taking things one day at a time. He has high and low days, and she says that when he got back from rehab, she had to give him some real tough love to make him understand how serious the situation was and how important it was for him to be self-disciplined enough to want to get better and want to help himself. I think it's really sad to hear about Robert Jr. and last season when we had that scene between him and Mary really had me bawling my eyes out to really just hear how rough it's been for him, and you really just never know what anyone is going through. So I'm really happy to hear that he does have resources available to him to get the help he needs, and we're definitely hoping and praying he gets back on the right track. So they finally start packing up, it's time to go, and as they're ready to peel out, the RV gets stuck in like this pothole and they're not able to move. So all the ladies decide to get out and push the RV to get it out of the hole. And Mary is like, like, I'm not doing that. And that was me. I was like, I would be the same way. Who the fuck is going to be getting out, pushing this big ass RV? Isn't that for the men? We want to be real. The only man that was there present on the trip, the driver, yeah, he was not back there pushing the RV. So why are all the women having to get out and push it? Absolutely not. Y'all got it.
Get somebody else to do it.
So now we're in the car with Heather. She gets on the phone with Angie, and Angie is asking Heather if she is going to Amy's party.
Who?
Heather goes, yeah, Amy's this big it girl in the event throwing space. She throws all the best events. I'm definitely going to be there. And I'm thinking, who the fuck is Amy? You guys cannot just bring up and introduce these rando characters without giving us any more details. We finally see Lisa, and Heather went to go meet up with her for lunch, and she is giving Lisa all the 411 on what went down on the girls trip. Of course, she lets her know she was the hot topic. She tells her Bronwyn blew up her spot and exposed all the lawsuits that she has pending against her, and basically says she was only there to assassinate Lisa's character. Heather also doesn't forget to include that Angie was co-signing everything Bronwyn was saying, and that had Lisa hot. Lisa immediately gets defensive, and she tries to explain one of the lawsuits was dealing with an old business partner from like 15 years ago, and the other one, she doesn't give any information. She just says it's baseless, it's been dismissed, next. I don't feel like I should have to explain anything that's already been resolved, like that's none of their business. She then goes on this rant about how much better she is than all the girls, including Heather, which she's saying right to her face, and she tells her, oh, my life is so much more complex and so much more different than anyone else's. Everyone knows I'm doing all these big things. And Heather's looking at Lisa like, our lives aren't that much different, Lisa. Like, you can calm down. Lisa then asks Heather if anyone stood up for her, and she basically says, I mean, Meredith did in the beginning, but after that, not really but me. And then Lisa gets all upset. Now she's getting all emotional, and she starts crying. And I was over here like, what are the tears for, Lisa? Why are you crying over people that you were just saying 5 minutes ago you were so much better than? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, why do you care so much then if you think you are so above them? So her crying was so annoying and just confusing to me. Honestly, Lisa thinking that she's better than anyone else just really shows her true colors and how ugly she is on the inside, and it just has her coming across like a bitch, if we're just gonna be real. The way she talks down on people and has to do that to lift herself up is very much clear, and it just is exposing that she doesn't have this confidence and this high self-esteem that she wants to make it seem like she does, because otherwise, why do you feel the need to always talk down on everyone else and inflate your life and your success, quote, so much and rub it in anyone's face all the time to make yourself feel like you're just up here above everyone else. It's just not a good look. It's not good energy to ever be around. I just feel like being around Lisa has to be draining all the time, because who wants to be around someone that's so self-centered? She has this elitist mindset about everything to do with her life, and it's just so unappealing, and it's so just like, Lisa. I used to like Lisa more last season, but I feel like this season she started to do a little bit extra, to the point where it's like a huge turnoff. Whitney and Bronwyn, they're meeting up for a ski session, and after they get done, they start talking about the girls' trip. Bronwyn tells Whitney that she feels like Heather misunderstood the comments she was making about the whole motherhood topic, and she wants to clear it up with Heather because she feels like they made some progress during the girls' trip, and she wants to salvage that progress as much as she can. So Whitney advises that she just pull Heather to the side, clear it up, and try to move on from it from there. This then segues back onto the Lisa topic of it all. And the man that is suing Lisa has come with receipts that has her acknowledging that she took a loan from him. Bronwyn also alleges the man that loaned Lisa some money was the same man that Angie said last year that was paying for Lisa's Botox and was Lisa's side meat. And since you're always so worried about everyone else's dirty laundry, yours is about to be exposed on Front Street. And if that is true, that's going to be the best tea we've heard about since Monica left. Now we're getting over to Mary's house, and Robert Jr. comes in, and we get the best scene of the episode in my opinion. Robert Jr. starts explaining to Mary how rough his recovery journey has been. He's been isolating himself from all the friends that he was getting high with, so now he's more of by himself. But with him being so lonely, now opens the door for him to look for different ways to cope, and he tells her he's been doing so through food and weed, which makes Mary concerned because she doesn't want him to relapse in any way. But when she does hear this, she also makes sure to give him some tough love, and she lets him know she can't force him to get the help that he needs. He's an adult, and he needs to get help that he wants to for himself. He needs to be self-disciplined and accountable for himself. So she says in her confessional as well that she realized she needed to be more hands-off when it came down to Robert, because in all his life she's been a helicopter mom, very much hands-on, and she wants him to know that she trusts him to make the right decisions for himself. So she's been doing a lot more backing off from him and seeing how he chooses to move. I feel bad for Mary because it's clear she's right between a rock and a hard place, especially with it being her son. It's like, of course, on one hand, her whole life, she's been so hands-on and so much more in control over everything he does, which a lot of moms are with their sons. But now it's like, with him being as old as he is, the routine just gets tiresome. If we're just going to be real, the routine gets old. You start looking at your child like, dude, I understand you have your own struggles, and that is understandable. We have compassion towards that. But on the other hand, it's like we also still need to be accountable for our actions. We also still need to understand we are adults with responsibilities, so you need to do what needs to be done to get things back to where they need to be. So she does try to do her best to be loving and compassionate while he's telling her how he feels, but you can tell like she really wants him to take it seriously and understand this is non-negotiable. Like, you need to get on your feet, you need to take this seriously, and I'm not going to be here to make sure you're staying on track. You need to do that for yourself. So I think that it was a really powerful scene to watch, and it does show a lot of growth with Mary over the years, because she wasn't like this in the first couple seasons. I feel like now she's a lot more reserved. She's a lot more focused on herself, protecting herself, separating herself from things that don't serve her. Overall, she's a lot more centered, and she's a lot more laid back. So I love seeing the growth that we've seen with her. Bronwyn finally has a chance to meet up with Heather for lunch, and off the bat, she tries to clear up any misunderstandings Heather could have gotten from her comments they had on the girls' trip. Bronwyn tries to explain to her she was trying to make Heather feel understood and heard from the perspective of being a mom, Heather tries to explain to Bronwyn her perspective. And she says that she took her comments to mean that because Heather was happy that her daughter was leaving the house, it meant she wasn't a good mom. But Bronwyn tries to immediately tell her, like, no, that wasn't what I was trying to say. I actually feel like I'm not that good of a mom because I want her to stay, because I feel like there was a lot of things that I missed. I was just trying to convey that to you, that I understand where you were coming from and where my opinion differs based off of my own experience. They're able to hash it out and the situation is dead. The conversation then again switches over to Lisa, and Heather is asking Bronwyn why she felt the need to come up there and expose all those things about Lisa to all the girls. Bronwyn says she initially was trying to be civil after last season wrapped, but Lisa went right back on the internet and kept calling her liar, insulting her, throwing low blows. So at this point, Bronwyn didn't give a damn about Lisa and being compassionate of a friend of any of that. All that shit was out the door. And she was like, all right, I'm gonna meet you where you are and I'm gonna give you that same energy. And that's what it was. And Heather wasn't here for that. She was like, okay, so you were trying to retaliate? And Bronwyn was like, okay, yeah, I was, because I'm not gonna keep letting someone disrespect me and me let it go. So I retaliated and I don't feel bad about it. Lisa is one of those people that will dish it so much but cannot take it, and I do not understand why that makes any sense. Please make it make sense. Girls start showing up to Amy's soiree, and we still don't know who this rando is, but one of the cool touches about her party was when Meredith and Seth pulled up, they were able to ring this bell, and there were like these little holes under the bell, and when she rang it, some hands came out from underneath and gave them some champagne. I thought that was a really cool touch. Lisa and John are on the way, and I knew things were about to heat up. When Lisa finally comes into the party, all the girls are shook, and she goes over to Meredith. They start talking about the girls trip, and Lisa tells Meredith, yeah, I already had a lunch with Heather and she already let me know who was a good friend and who wasn't. Looking at Meredith like, desperate ass Brittany comes over to the conversation and she spills that Angie was trying to compare Lisa to Jen Shaw, and Lisa's jaw was on the floor. She was pissed. She was like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. And Brittany was like, yep. She sure did. That has Lisa immediately going over to confront Angie. And Angie tells Lisa that it was Bronwyn that brought up all the issues with her lawsuits, not her. And that then brings Bronwyn over to the conversation. And Lisa immediately tries to dismiss her, telling her, you're dismissed. I don't want to talk to you. Bronwyn tells Lisa, you should be talking to me and not Angie because I'm the one that brought all this stuff up in the first place. But Lisa doesn't want to hear it. She's waving her off. She's like, girl, just leave. I'm not even talking to you. I don't even like you. And Bronwyn is not fazed by Lisa. She already knows what to expect and she's locked and loaded. So as Bronwyn is trying to get Lisa to understand, like, your problem is with me, not Angie, Lisa all of a sudden calls her a gout dick sucker.
Damn!
I was shook. I was like, oh my gosh, Lisa is bringing it to hell. Are you kidding? Gout dick sucker. And she said that over and over and over again, and you see people in the background of the party is like, what is going on? It was getting ghetto. It was getting ghetto in there. So as the argument is going on, Lisa is continuing to call Bronwyn a dick sucker, and she tells her that's where you get your clothes from. And Bronwyn goes, yeah, I do suck my husband's dick, and that's where I get my clothes from. And Bronwyn was unfazed the entire time that Lisa is trying to throw these low blows. Bronwyn is catching them and returning them to sender, unfazed, unbothered, unfuckwithable, all of that. And she's like, girl, keep bringing it because I know exactly what to say to get you together. And she adds, at least I get my clothes from my husband while you get your clothes from another woman's husband and his Amex card. Oh my gosh, it was getting good. This is when Bronwyn had Lisa gagged, and she runs down the list of all the accusations from the lawsuit. Lisa keeps trying to deflect, and she keeps trying to throw low blows about Bronwyn's marriage, and Bronwyn is still there, still cool, calm, collected, and she goes, Lisa, nothing is going to clear up these allegations other than some cash. Why don't you go ahead and go back to work to pay off those debts? Again, she's coming with them. She's locked, loaded, and ready for Lisa's ass, and Lisa is not prepared. Lisa does nothing but continue to deflect, and she says to Bronwyn, no one talks as badly about their husband than you do, Bronwyn. And Bronwyn goes, that's fine. No one's borrowed money behind their husband's back other than you, bitch. So what does that say about you?
Click it, click it, click it.
And she adds, doesn't it say in the lawsuit that you were trying to keep it a secret from John? Does he know about it at all? And the whole time, Lisa is gagged. She's flabbergasted. She has nothing to say except for, you're lying. She's lying. That's not true. Bronwyn had Lisa shook. She had her speechless. She was too done to speak. She had nothing to say because she knew that the person that was suing her had all the receipts and everything was exposed. Everything is being blasted and there's nothing she could back up with anything except for trying to throw these cheap ass low blows. So I just think it'll be really interesting to see how Jonathan, is that his full name? Who knows? He feels about this because it is now public and this man, as we said, has receipts. He has things to say, so it'll be real interesting to see Lisa's spot blown the fuck up since all this time she's been trying to get in everyone else's business. It's your turn, Lisa, to sit in the hot seat. Get ready. That is going to wrap up the recap. This episode had me glued to the screen and it gave everything it was supposed to have gave. I cannot wait until the next episode. Things are going to start spicing up even more. What was your favorite part about the episode? How did you feel about Lisa? Did you feel like she went a little too far or was she her normal self with her shade? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!